The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. It's time for the Low Fact Podcast.
Lame.
Okay, fine. I won't play it anymore.
Sorry.
You are not sorry, liar. All right. So,
Okay, here's my weird-ass esoteric topic.
hit me.
You sitting up now?
No.
Going back to lying down?
I like the lying down in the studio here.
So, this is mind over matter.
What? I won't mind because you don't matter?
Yes, that's right. So, in Eastern philosophy, well, you know, you've studied Eastern philosophy.
Not really. Isn't that a bit presumptuous? Aren't you being a little bit racist there?
Probably. You have a bit of a Zen master way about you, though, anyway, so...
Again, aren't you just making assumptions?
You kind of have a Zen way about you. I'm just saying, I've studied some of the Zen stuff before.
Oh.
So in martial arts and in Zen philosophy, there's this idea of no mind, which is basically kind of like instinctual. It's the idea of not sitting there and thinking about what's my next action going to be. It's just kind of like being present and then reacting, right? Whether it's like, well, you've heard probably Bruce Lee talk about that shit before.
No, I never met him.
But it's the idea of... So in Zen, they call it no mind. I'm trying to be serious here.
No, that's what's so funny about it. You're so focused on what you're trying to say and the point you want to get across. You can't even hear anything I say.
Shut up. So, but there's also this idea of mind over the matter, the idea that you can manifest something by the power of thought. And I'm just wondering, do you ascribe to that philosophy or not? Do you ascribe to the philosophy that your mental state is important, or is more important in many ways than matter?
I think you're talking about two different things, and the only thought I have in my head right now is you've been watching way too much Star Wars.
No, I was reading a book actually called Soul Sword.
No, but you've also been watching way too much Star Wars because you're talking about making things happen with your mind, and I'm just...
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
That's what you said. Okay.
Well, I'm talking about... And this is something that you've talked about before. This is the idea of positive thinking, the idea of overcoming through mental fortitude. Right?
If you say so.
I mean, don't you ascribe to that? Don't you ascribe to the idea of the power of the mind, the power of, like, fear, for example, like overcoming fear, like being able to act despite your fear, for example. That would be through mental fortitude, right?
I suppose.
No?
I subscribe to the idea that you can do way more than you think you can.
But what about this idea of the instinctual? What about this idea of, so when you're in a fight, right? Like you've studied some various different kinds of fighting, right? So when you're in a fight, are you
playing marathon rounds of Mortal Kombat martial arts training? Sure.
But when you're in a fight, you've been in fights before. I have not really been in a lot of fights, but
you mean beyond oral altercations?
I'm in real fights.
Real fights?
Yeah, like bar fights and other fights. Like,
I don't know if you'd call them fights.
Whatever, dude. My question is this: when you're in a fight, are you thinking about your moves, or are you just moving?
No, I don't know. When I'm in a fight, I basically you've seen those nature documentaries with chimps fighting each other.
This is not how I thought this fucking conversation was going to go. It's really annoying.
I'm sorry. But
you're not fucking sorry.
But you know, you've seen the nature documentaries.
This is why I don't come up with topics.
Where the chimps fight each other.
That's
kind of the way I look in a fight.
Just like waving your arms around.
I'm just screaming and hitting whatever's in front of me until it stops.
Like bringing your hands down and beating something to a pulp.
Yeah. Well, it works for the chimps.
But do you think there's such a thing as the instinctual?
Yes.
Because in Zen...
Because you think the chimps learned that at some martial arts school?
No. But like this book, Soul Sword, he talks about...
That sounds oddly like some kind of Star Wars episode.
No, it's not. He's a martial arts guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Is he a martial arts guy like Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No. He's the real deal.
Is he a martial arts guy like Steven Seagal?
No, he's the real deal.
Steven Seagal's the real deal too. He used to he learned Aikido in Japan from an Aikido master.
Okay.
This woman, and he became good enough to start. He married his teacher's daughter. She was a female. The daughter and the.
Did he divorce her too?
Yes.
What a cunt.
Well, he wanted to get fat and eat cheeseburgers. And if you're listening to this, don't beat me up, Steven Seagal.
He couldn't catch you.
Oh yeah, I guess
you can just run away.
I don't know. Maybe I can't run either. I have to trot away.
But here's the question. So this is kind of where it's coming to. So with Zen, the idea of no mind is the idea that you're just basically totally instinctual. That you're totally present, totally instinctual, and it's the idea of something coming from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy in Soul Sword, he kind of makes a parallel with God. Like he was like, that's kind of what God is.
And Soul Sword? No,
God is what gives the artist their creative, instinct. God is what, directs you when you're not thinking. And I'm like, really? Is it the same thing? Can you really call that God? Or is it just instinct?
I suppose you got to call it something, right?
Yeah, but what do you call it?
It all depends on your perspective. If you're a person of faith, you'll call it God. If you're a person who worships himself, you'll call it instinct, my mind, or the universe, or whatever, I suppose. I don't know.
Well, yeah. A lot of times people talk about the universe, and I'm like, why aren't you just talking about God then?
Well, yeah, but even when they do that, you're really just talking about people's perspectives.
Yeah.
Because you like to talk about good and evil and courage and fear, and it's just my opinion that all that stuff is kind of situational. If nobody's looking at you and there's a whole lot of food, money, whatever, just out there to be taken, you gonna take it? I think a lot of people would. If everybody's staring at you and there's, money kind of sitting there, are you going to take it? I'm thinking that there are very few people that would. And even if they did, a lot of people wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Which, odd aside here, it seems that the people that support Donald Trump, if nothing happens and he loses, they're just going to sit there and go along with their lives. And the people that don't support Donald Trump would probably riot if
I don't know if that's true.
Well, I think people are kind of betting on that.
Wow.
Well, because most people on the Republican side, the right wing side, the conservative side, they just kind of okay, because they got other stuff to do, and
either that or they really don't want Donald Trump around.
Yeah, but that's a total aside thing that I don't know why I brought up, and you just want to go along with whatever comes up. But no, so,
why did you bring it up?
I don't know. Because the whole situational thing. Actually, I don't know, but I do think that people are situational, so you can't really call someone evil. I mean, everybody is capable of doing evil deeds. And some of us have.
But you're not saying there's no such thing as evil.
No, I'm just saying that I don't know that you can call a person that. Good, evil.
What about their acts?
Well, that's definitely something you can call. But even then, right, they're always going to try to put it in context. Someone gets caught for stealing or being a criminal, and they're like, oh, I never had a chance. My dad was not around, and I didn't have a good school, and my mom was always out doing drugs, and so all I could do was steal, and I'm sitting there going, but when you were the guy that had the power, you just kind of had fun beating up on weaker people.
Yeah.
And now the piper has come for you,
It's all kinds of excuses.
Yeah, it's like when Muammar Gaddafi, when Gaddafi was killed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wasn't acting like the way he acted when he was king of the hill.
That's true.
And you know, even Hussein.
Saddam in his little hole.
Yeah, so you know, on the one sense, I'm like, why are you guys hiding? I mean, because probably because they didn't think it was over, or because they were total complete chicken shits. I don't know. And again, I can't say anything about it because but I am reminded of history lessons of people that just sat there and killed themselves. Like, oh yeah, you gonna take over here? You can't kill me. You're not man enough to kill me. I'll kill myself.
That seems pointless.
Well, the Romans used to do that.
Kill themselves?
Oh yeah. Well, some of them would run into swords.
There's got to be a better way to kill yourself, bro.
Like I said, I'm more for the painless in my sleep.
Yeah.
Not screaming.
Well, some kind of like painless poison, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know that there's such a thing.
Oh.
Because the story they don't tell you about the assisted suicides. That's it's not easy.
You mean doing it or experiencing it?
Both. Sometimes you have these very ill people trying to swallow a cocktail of stuff, and it's just too hard for them to do.
Oh.
So it's a Herculean task. Oh, just see the bit about the woman in Canada that didn't want to go through another coronavirus lockdown, so she opted for suicide?
No. That's fucking awful.
Physician assisted. Well, in Europe, what is it? Belgium or Holland?
Was this
or
a young woman or an old woman?
This is an older woman. There are people getting killed, physician assisted suicide. Some people against their will, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that's a good thing."
I don't understand the philosophy of just saying, "Oh well, I might as well just kill myself."
Oh, I do.
Why not just say "fuck you"
and kill somebody else?
No, just like "fuck you" authorities or "fuck you" whoever. Yeah,
see, I understand the feeling. I just don't understand the follow through because I would never. I don't think I'd do that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Actually, I don't want to say out loud because I don't want to
tempt fate.
No, I don't want to sit there and say, "Oh, I don't think I'd ever do that," because I don't know. Well, actually, I know that there are some situations where, rather than.
I just think that just shows you how wrong this whole thing is.
What? Society?
No, this whole coronavirus thing, how many suicides have happened?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that there are people that are happy about that.
How many people have died because they didn't go get their freaking checkup or go to hospital?
Again, I'm not sure, but I'm sure there are a lot of people that are happy about that.
So, and how many people are older people?
Again, happy. Not me, but there are people that are happy about that, and they're probably all in places of upper echelon government. Or science.
Fuck that shit, dude.
Or academia.
Fuck that shit, too.
Well, yeah, but think about it. You say that, and rightfully so, but come on. Wouldn't you much rather sacrifice one of your cousins for a cause than yourself?
Well, yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing.
Sorry, cousins, if you're listening.
Well, no, it's true. They do the same. They throw you under the bus just as easily.
But they would deny it.
Well, then, again, that's. I don't know. Once and for all, I'm going to debunk your whole denial thing. It don't matter what someone just denies or admits to. It don't matter. If you see someone with chocolate all over their mouth, chocolate on their hands, talking with their mouth full because they've got chocolate donuts in there, and you say, "Did you eat that chocolate donut?" And they go, "No, I didn't do that." You're not going to sit there and say, "Oh, well, since you said no, you didn't, then I guess you didn't," and walk off believing that they were innocent, are you?
No.
So it don't matter. What people say don't matter. Okay, so they deny it. So what? Of course they're going to deny it because they don't want to be seen as a weirdo. That is the whole point of living in a group that you love so much. You don't want everyone else to think you're a weirdo. So yes, you're going to say, "Oh, it's so horrible that person got hurt. Oh, this is so tragic," or "Oh, that's so great."
But the group is kind of annoying, though.
And yet you when given your choice, you would much rather be bound and gagged, standing on a rock with 20 people, rather than sitting in your cell with TV
Yeah,
books, and a toilet.
I can't explain it. I mean,
That's okay. I mean, I'm not putting you down for it.
I can't explain it.
And now I've lost my train of thought because I don't know where I was going, and I think.
Well, it was my topic, but it doesn't really matter.
I think that's enough.